80% of your ads will fail. Even if you're the best marketer in the world, they're going to fail. And the difference that sets apart the marketers who do really well on Facebook or other advertising platforms compared to those who don't is that they understand this concept. And it's not a concept that I've just made up arbitrarily. It's something that's been around for many years. I don't even know who came up with this concept of the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of your results will come from 20% of your people. 80% of your results will come from 20% of your campaigns. And I'd even go as far to say that 95% of your results will come from 5% of the ad campaigns that you actually launch and scale. So in knowing that, how can we then begin to mitigate our risk so that we can become profitable if we know that 80% of our campaigns are actually going to fail? So essentially it all comes down to testing and scaling effectively. So if you go out there, let's say you've got $1,000 a day budget. I'm shooting high for the stars here. We've got $1,000 a day budget. If you just go out there and put $1,000 on one particular ad, then it just makes no sense because you're leaving it up to chance essentially with just one ad. Whereas if you were smart about it and you were understanding that, okay, with this $1,000 a day, I'm going to spend the first 5 days just gathering data as much as possible from as many different sources as possible. And then you actually launch, instead of launching one ad, you launch 20 ads, maybe even 30 ads. And with that $1,000, you can gather a lot of data. And if you're picking up, let's say I'm going to run 10 different audience interest targets, and then I'm going to run, 5 different lookalikes that I've created. And then I'm going to run ads to 30 to 50-year-olds, and then I'm going to run ads to 20 to 30-year-olds and test those instead. And then you're picking up all of this data from a lot of different sources, right? And then knowing that you're going to be killing 80% of those ads in those first 5 days, you'll find the ones that are working, you'll find the ones that aren't. So then you go out and then you scale the ones that are. Pretty simple video, but sometimes people can't get around it. And I've had this experience with a potential client where we wanted to do a test to make sure her account was working correctly. So I just put something out there really quickly, one ad. The whole point of it was to spend $20 just to make sure the account was going to work. We weren't even focused on conversions at that time. But because the conversions were like $6, $7, $8 per subscriber, she decided that the whole thing should be shut down and that she wasn't confident, and I wasn't confident to run ads with someone who was in that mindset of very much a scarcity mindset. So I lost a client there, and I don't like doing that, but sometimes people are just not ready to understand or to trust in what you're doing. So you need to explain those concepts like this to them, and that's probably where I failed on that one. And I'm the first person to admit that I should have been the one who mitigated my risk of losing a client in that situation, but I didn't address it properly, and potentially the client wasn't ready to hear what I was looking to try and say anyway. So the moral of the story is that 80% of your ads potentially will fail. Now, over time, sure, that's probably going to get a lot better, especially if you're niched in on one particular area, like I do virtual online summits for people, and most of my ads work pretty quickly these days. However, if you're trying something new, if you've got a new offer, if you've got new landing pages, something that you've never run ads to before, then there's a high chance that a lot of ads are going to fail before some are actually going to start working. So it's all about testing and scaling effectively. And when you can do that, that's when your whole life can change, your whole business can change, you can get more leads, get more sales, and do more good in the world. My name is Mitch Asser. Till next time, bye-bye.